The grand hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with nervous energy. Beings from 1,000 worlds sat in tiered seats, their eyes fixed on the central podium. High Counselor Zixnera, a tall, slender creature with shimmering blue skin, raised all 4 of her arms for silence. "Fellow council members," she began, her voice echoing through the chamber, "we face a grave threat. The humans of Earth are advancing too quickly." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Earth was a newcomer to galactic society, barely a century since first contact. Yet in that short time, humans had adapted alien technologies at an alarming rate. Zixnera continued, "Our analysts predict that within 50 years, Earth will surpass even the eldest races in military might. We cannot allow this." Grukthak, a hulking reptilian from a warrior race, growled his agreement. "Humans are too unpredictable, too aggressive. They must be stopped now, while we still can." Not everyone agreed. Limala, a wise old being made of pure energy, spoke up. "But surely diplomacy. Diplomacy has failed." Zixnera cut him off. "We've tried to slow their progress through trade restrictions, technology embargoes. Nothing works. The humans find a way around every obstacle." She pulled up a holographic display, showing Earth's rapid progress in various fields: weapons technology, faster than light travel, artificial intelligence. In every area, humanity was advancing at an exponential rate. "We have only one option left," Zixnera said grimly. "We must contain the human threat, permanently." The words hung heavy in the air. Everyone knew what she meant. Gasps and angry shouts filled the chamber. Limala flared brightly in distress. "You're talking about genocide. We can't." "We can, and we must," Grukthak rumbled, "for the safety of the galaxy." The debate raged for hours. Some council members argued passionately against such drastic action. Others saw it as a necessary evil. In the end, fear won out over compassion. Zixnera called for a vote. Those in favor of immediate action to neutralize the human threat. Slowly, tentacles, claws, and appendages of all kinds were raised. A clear majority. "The motion passes," Zixnera announced, her voice heavy. "May the cosmos forgive us." Plans were quickly drawn up. A stealth fleet would be assembled, using technology the humans hadn't yet encountered. They would strike Earth's major cities simultaneously, wiping out centers of government and industry. Without leadership and infrastructure, humanity would be crippled, unable to retaliate. As the council members filed out, Limala approached Zixnera. "This is a mistake," he warned. "You underestimate them." Zixnera's eyes narrowed. "No, old friend. You overestimate them. They're clever, yes, but they're still primitives. They have no idea what's coming." Little did the council know, their secretive debate had not gone unnoticed. In a dark corner of the chamber, a small cleaning drone whirred quietly. Its sensors had captured every word, every vote. And deep within its circuitry, a hidden subroutine activated. Millions of light years away, on a secret base hidden in an asteroid belt, a human operator's console lit up with an urgent message. The young woman's eyes widened as she read the drone's report. Her hand shook as she reached for the communication panel. "Command, this is Deep Cover Operative Zeta," she said, her voice trembling. "We have a code black. I repeat, code black. Earth is in imminent danger." As alarms began to blare throughout the base, the woman looked out at the star-filled void. Somewhere out there, a fleet was being assembled, a fleet meant to destroy her homeworld. "God help us all," she whispered. The Galactic Council had made its decision. They thought it would be the end of humanity. Instead, it would be the spark that ignited humanity's unstoppable wrath and changed the fate of the galaxy forever. The sun rose over New York City, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. People rushed to work, unaware that this ordinary day would soon turn into humanity's darkest hour. High above the Earth, hidden by advanced cloaking technology, The Galactic Council's fleet waited. Admiral Krovac, a veteran of 100 campaigns, gave the order, "Begin the attack." Suddenly, the sky lit up with blinding flashes. Massive energy beams sliced through skyscrapers like butter. In seconds, the proud towers of Manhattan crumbled to dust. Panic spread like wildfire. People ran screaming through the streets as more beams rained down destruction. Emergency services were overwhelmed within minutes. Similar scenes played out in cities across the globe. London, Tokyo, Moscow, Beijing, all fell under the merciless assault. In Washington, D.C., President Sarah Chen was rushed to a bunker. "What's happening?" she demanded, her face pale with shock. General Williams, his uniform disheveled, reported grimly, "We're under attack, Madam President. Multiple cities hit. Our defenses are useless against their weapons." Chen's mind raced. Aliens? But why? We've had peaceful contact for decades. Before anyone could answer, the bunker shook violently. Dust rained from the ceiling. "They found us," Williams said, his voice tight with fear. "Madam President, we need to get you to Site Oscar." As they rushed through dark tunnels, Chen couldn't shake the image of her city in flames. How many had already died? Millions? Tens of millions. Meanwhile, in a small town in Kansas, teenager Mike Reynolds watched the horror unfold on TV. His hand shook as he tried to call his dad, who was on a business trip in Chicago. The call wouldn't go through. Mike's mom hugged him tightly, tears streaming down her face. Suddenly, their neighbor burst in. "They're coming," old Mr. Johnson yelled. "I saw them. Spaceships, heading this way." Mike ran outside. In the distance, he saw strange shapes descending from the clouds. Fear gripped his heart, but another emotion surged even stronger: rage. Across the world, those who survived the initial attack began to fight back. In the ruins of Paris, a group of civilians managed to bring down an alien ship using nothing but improvised explosives and sheer determination. In the skies over Brazil, a squadron of fighter jets engaged in a desperate battle against the alien craft. Though outnumbered and outgunned, the human pilots fought with incredible skill and bravery. For Earth, Captain Maria Silva shouted as she rammed her failing jet into an enemy ship. The resulting explosion took out 3 alien craft. Underground, in secret bases around the world, humanity's best and brightest worked frantically. They had prepared for this day, even if most of the world hadn't believed it would come. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of Earth's reverse engineering program, shouted orders to her team. "We need to crack their shield technology now. Every second counts." In orbit, aboard the International Space Station, astronaut Chris Baker watched helplessly as his world burned. Tears floated in zero gravity as he recorded a message. "To anyone who finds this, we are humanity. We will not go quietly. We will fight. We will survive. And we will remember." As the first day of the attack drew to a close, the toll was catastrophic. Billions dead or missing. Every major city in ruins. Earth's military forces shattered. But the aliens had made a fatal mistake. They had hoped to crush humanity's spirit. Instead, they had awakened a fury unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. In the smoking ruins of London, a bloodied man pulled himself from the rubble. He looked up at the alien ships hovering in the sky and whispered, "This isn't over. It's only just begun." The massacre had occurred, but from the ashes of this tragedy, humanity would rise, stronger, more united, and burning with a righteous anger that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. The Galactic Council thought they had won. They were wrong. Dead wrong. 3 days after the devastating attack, the remaining world leaders gathered in a secret underground bunker. The room was tense, filled with exhausted faces and heavy hearts. President Chen of the United States, her suit covered in dust, stood up. "We've all suffered terrible losses," she said, her voice cracking. "But we're still here, and as long as we're here, there's hope." Russian President Volkov, normally a stern man, nodded in agreement. For too long, our nations have been divided. But now we face a common enemy. We must stand together, or we will fall alone. Chinese Premier Lai stepped forward. I agree. The time for old rivalries is over. Today, we are not Chinese, American, or Russian. We are human, and we will fight as one. One by one, the leaders pledged their support. Old enemies shook hands. Former rivals embraced. In the face of alien aggression, humanity had found a unity it had never known before. Meanwhile, in a makeshift command center in the Australian outback, military leaders from around the world were assessing their options. General Williams pointed to a holographic map. The aliens have established bases here, here, and here, he said, highlighting several locations. They control our major cities and have air superiority. Admiral Tanaka of Japan frowned. Our navies are in shambles. We can't fight them in open battle. Then we don't, said Colonel Mbeki of South Africa. We fight smart. Guerrilla tactics. Hit and run. We have one advantage. We know this planet better than they do. As the military leaders planned their resistance, scientists and engineers worldwide were working around the clock. In a hidden lab beneath the ruins of MIT, Dr. Emma Reeves examined a piece of alien technology. Look at this, she said to her colleague. Dr. Patel, their power source. It's like nothing we've ever seen. Dr. Patel's eyes widened. If we can reverse engineer this, we might have a chance. Across the globe, similar breakthroughs were happening. In Beijing, a team cracked the alien communication code. In Moscow, engineers began adapting alien shield technology to human vehicles. But it wasn't just the military and scientific communities that were uniting. Ordinary people, driven by a mix of fear, anger, and hope, were coming together in ways never seen before. In the ruins of Paris, a former chef named Marie organized a massive underground network to distribute food and supplies. We take care of each other now, she said, handing out bread. That's how we'll survive. In Rio de Janeiro, a group of street kids, led by a teenager named Carlos, became expert scouts. They moved through the destroyed city unseen, gathering crucial intelligence on alien movements. Even in space, humanity fought on. The crew of the International Space Station, once helpless observers, now used their unique position to monitor alien fleet movements and warn Earth of incoming attacks. As the first week after the attack came to an end, humanity had begun to find its footing. The initial shock and despair were giving way to determination and unity. In a worldwide broadcast, patched through hidden communication networks, President Chen addressed the human race. My fellow humans, we have endured the darkest days in our history. We have lost much, our cities, our loved ones, our sense of security. But we have not lost everything. We still have our courage, our ingenuity, and most importantly, we have each other. Today, I speak not as the leader of one nation, but as a representative of all humanity. To the aliens who sought to destroy us, hear this. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. And together, we will reclaim our world. As Chen's words echoed across the planet, in hidden bases and underground shelters, in the hearts of soldiers and civilians alike, a fire was lit. The aliens had tried to extinguish humanity. Instead, they had forged it into something stronger, more united, and more determined than ever before. The battle for Earth had only just begun. 2 months after the devastating alien attack, humanity was ready to strike back. In a hidden facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, scientists and engineers put the finishing touches on Earth's secret weapon. Dr. Emma Reeves stood before a sleek, silver spacecraft. It looked alien, yet somehow familiar. Ladies and gentlemen, she announced to the gathered military leaders, I give you the Phoenix. General Williams stepped forward, his eyes wide with awe. Is it ready? Dr. Reeves nodded. We've reverse-engineered their tech and improved upon it. The Phoenix is faster, more maneuverable, and has better shields than anything the aliens have. But can it fight? Asked Admiral Tanaka. In response, Dr. Reeves pressed a button. A holographic display sprang to life, showing the Phoenix's weapon systems. "Oh yes," she said with a grim smile. "It can fight." Meanwhile, in orbit around Mars, the alien fleet was in disarray. Admiral Scathar, leader of the Galactic Council's forces, paced nervously on his command ship. "How is this possible?" He growled at his subordinates. "The humans should have been crushed by now." A junior officer spoke up timidly. "Sir, we've underestimated them. They're adapting to our technology at an unprecedented rate." Scathar snarled in frustration. "Increase the attacks. Crush their will to resist." But even as he gave the order, alarms blared across the alien fleet. On their scanners, a new signal appeared, coming from Earth at incredible speed. Back on Earth, in the cockpit of the Phoenix, Captain Mike Reynolds, the same teenager who had watched his town burn 2 months ago, took a deep breath. "Phoenix to base. We are go for launch." "Godspeed, Phoenix," came the reply from Mission Control. "Give 'em hell." With a roar that shook the mountains, the Phoenix shot into the sky. Within minutes, it breached Earth's atmosphere, streaking towards the alien fleet like a comet of vengeance. The aliens, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of an advanced Earth ship, scrambled to respond. But they were too slow. "Weapons hot," Mike said calmly. His co-pilot, Lai Wei, nodded and pressed the fire button. Beams of energy, more powerful than anything the aliens had, lanced out from the Phoenix. 3 enemy ships exploded in quick succession. "Impossible," Admiral Scathar shouted as he watched the battle unfold. "All ships, focus fire on that vessel." But the Phoenix was too fast, too agile. It danced between enemy fire, striking back with deadly precision. More alien ships fell. As the battle raged in space on Earth, humanity launched its ground counterattack. In the ruins of major cities, resistance fighters emerged from hiding, armed with reverse-engineered alien weapons. In London, a group led by former police officer Sarah Collins ambushed an alien patrol. Their weapons, once useless against alien armor, now cut through it like paper. In Tokyo, a swarm of drones, reprogrammed by teenage hacker Kenji Sato, overwhelmed an alien command post. The invaders, so confident in their technological superiority, never saw it coming. And in Rio de Janeiro, Carlos and his street kids guided a team of special forces to the aliens' main South American base. As explosions rocked the base, Carlos grinned. "This is for our families," he whispered. Back in space, the Phoenix had single-handedly destroyed a quarter of the alien fleet. The remaining ships began to retreat. "Should we pursue?" Lai Wei asked. Mike shook his head. "No. We've done enough for today. Let's head home." As the Phoenix turned back towards Earth, Admiral Scathar watched in disbelief. "Send a message to the Council," he said, his voice shaking. "The humans, they're not just resisting. They're winning." On Earth, as news of the victory spread, people emerged from their shelters, cheering and hugging each other. For the first time since the invasion, hope bloomed freely. In the White House bunker, President Chen received the battle reports with tears in her eyes. "We've won the first round," she said to her advisors, "but the war is far from over. We must press our advantage." As night fell, bonfires were lit in cities around the world. The flames, like the newly kindled hope in humanity's heart, burned bright against the darkness. The counterattack had begun, and with it, a new chapter in human history. The Galactic Council had wanted to extinguish humanity. Instead, they had forged it into a force that would reshape the galaxy. 6 months after humanity's first counterattack, the war had spread to the stars. Earth's fleet, though growing, was still outnumbered. But what humans lacked in numbers, they made up for in daring and ingenuity. Captain Mike Reynolds stood on the bridge of the Phoenix, now the flagship of Earth's small but fierce navy. "Status report," he ordered. His second-in-command, Commander Lai Wei, responded. "We're approaching the Proxima Centauri system. Alien supply depot detected on the third planet." Mike nodded. "Perfect. Time to hit them where it hurts." The Phoenix dropped out of hyperspace, followed by 5 smaller ships. They were immediately met by alien fire. "Evasive maneuvers," Mike shouted. The Phoenix danced between energy beams, its advanced shields absorbing hits that would have vaporized earlier human ships. "Return fire," Mike commanded. "Target their defense grid." The Phoenix's weapons lashed out, disabling the alien defenses with surgical precision. As alarms blared across the alien base, the smaller human ships swooped in. On one of these ships, Sarah Collins, the former London police officer, prepared her team. "Remember the plan," she said. "Get in, plant the bombs, get out. Every supply ship we destroy is one less weapon they can use against Earth." The strike-teamed ship landed amid the chaos. Sarah and her team, wearing reverse-engineered alien tech, moved swiftly through the base. Meanwhile, in another part of the galaxy, a lone human ship drifted, seemingly dead in space. Inside, teenager-turned-hacker Kenji Sato worked furiously at his console. Come on," he muttered. His fingers flew over the keyboard as he attempted to hack into the alien communication network. Suddenly, his screen lit up with alien transmissions. "Yes," he exclaimed. "Control, this is Phantom. I'm in their system, downloading data now." Back on Earth, in the underground command center, General Williams received Kenji's transmission. "Excellent work, Phantom," he said. "This intel will save countless lives." The guerrilla tactics were working. Across the galaxy, small human teams struck at alien supply lines, communication hubs, and minor outposts. They appeared out of nowhere, caused massive damage, and vanished before the aliens could respond. Admiral Skthar, once confident in his superior forces, now felt a constant state of paranoia. How? He raged at his staff. How are these primitives outmaneuvering us at every turn? One of his advisors, a scholar of alien cultures, spoke up. "Sir, I've been studying human history. They have a long tradition of asymmetric warfare. This is what they excel at." Skthar growled in frustration. "Then we must adapt. Double the patrols. Increase security at all our bases." But the humans were always one step ahead. In a daring raid, Mike and the Phoenix led an attack on one of the aliens' main shipyards. As explosions bloomed in space, crippling the alien facility, Mike allowed himself a small smile. "That's for Earth," he whispered. The constant attacks were taking their toll on the alien forces. Morale was low, and rumors began to spread. Stories of human bravery and ingenuity reached the far corners of the galaxy. On a distant planet, a member of a subjugated race heard these tales with growing hope. "If the humans can resist," he thought, "maybe we can too." As the human fleet regrouped after their latest victory, Mike received a surprising transmission. "Captain," Lai Wei said, "we're picking up a signal. It's from a non-council race. They're asking to meet." Mike's eyes widened. "Are they friendly?" Lai Wei shrugged. "They say they want to help. They've seen what we've done, and they want to join us." For the first time in months, Mike felt a glimmer of hope that went beyond mere survival. "Send them our coordinates," he said. "It's time to make some new friends." As the Phoenix prepared to meet their potential new allies, news of the encounter spread through the human fleet. The war was far from over, but a new chapter was beginning. Humanity, once isolated and outgunned, was about to find its place in a larger galactic community. The Galactic Council had sought to exterminate humanity. Instead, they had created the seed of their own destruction, and the beginning of a new, more just galactic order. A year had passed since humanity's first counterattack. The galaxy was changing. In a hidden star system, far from the Galactic Council's prying eyes, an unprecedented meeting was taking place. Captain Mike Reynolds stood before a diverse group of alien representatives. Some looked almost human, others were utterly bizarre. All shared one thing: a desire for freedom from the Council's tyranny. "Friends," Mike began, his voice firm, "we've all suffered under the Council's rule. Today we change that. Together." A tall crystalline being stepped forward. "The humans have shown us it's possible to fight back. We stand with Earth." One by one, representatives pledged their support. A rebellion was born. Back on Earth, in the rebuilt UN headquarters, President Chen addressed the world. "Today, we are no longer alone. Allies from across the stars join our cause. The tide is turning." Cheers erupted worldwide. Humanity, once on the brink of extinction, now led a galactic alliance. In space, the combined fleet of Earth and its new allies prepared for a major offensive. The Phoenix, now upgraded with technology from a dozen worlds, led the charge. Mike looked at his diverse bridge crew, humans working alongside aliens. All ships prepare for hyperspace jump. Today, we take the fight to the Council's doorstep. The fleet jumped, emerging near a key Council stronghold. Alarms blared across the enemy stations. Admiral Skthar, once confident, now felt fear. "It's impossible," he muttered, seeing the size of the rebel fleet. "All ships, defend the station at all costs." The battle was fierce. Energy beams crisscrossed space. Explosions bloomed like deadly flowers. On a small strike ship, Sarah Collins led a mixed team of humans and aliens. "Remember the plan," she said. "We plant the virus, shut down their defenses, and get out." They infiltrated the station, fighting through corridors. Sarah's alien teammate, a shapeshifter named Zix, took point. "Security ahead," Zix warned. Sarah nodded, readying her weapon. "Just like we practiced. Go." Meanwhile, Kenji Sato, now head of Earth's cyber warfare division, worked furiously. "Almost there," he muttered. His fingers flew over holographic keys, hacking the Council's network. Suddenly, his screen flashed green. "I'm in. Uploading the virus now." Across the battlefield, Council ships began to lose power. Shields failed. Weapons went offline. Mike saw the opening. All ships, concentrate fire on the main station. The combined fleet unleashed a devastating barrage. The Council stronghold, once impregnable, crumbled under the assault. As the station fell, a shockwave rippled across the galaxy. On countless worlds, oppressed races saw the news and took heart. Rebellions, dormant for centuries, ignited. The Galactic Council, for the first time in millennia, felt fear. High Counselor Zixnera called an emergency session. "We must sue for peace," she said, her voice shaking. But it was too late. The Council was fracturing. Some members fled. Others switched sides, hoping to avoid humanity's wrath. Back on the Phoenix, Mike received the news of the Council's collapse with mixed emotions. "We've won a great victory," he told his crew. "But the real work is just beginning." We nodded. "Building a new galactic order won't be easy." "No," Mike agreed. "But it's necessary. We can't let another tyranny rise from the ashes." On Earth, celebrations erupted. But in quiet moments, people remembered the cost. Memorials were built, honoring those lost in the initial attack. President Chen, addressing the UN, spoke of the future. "We've faced extinction and emerged stronger. Now we must ensure peace for all galactic citizens, human and alien alike." As the speech ended, Mike looked out at the stars from the Phoenix's bridge. The galaxy was entering a new era. Humanity, once confined to a single world, now stood as guardians of galactic freedom. The Council had sought to destroy humanity. Instead, they had unleashed a force that reshaped the cosmos. A force of unity, of resilience, of hope. The tide had turned, and the future, vast and unknown, beckoned. 5 years had passed since the fall of the Galactic Council. The galaxy was healing, but scars remained. On a beautiful planet with purple skies, once the Council's capital, a historic event was unfolding. Captain Mike Reynolds, now Admiral, stood before a vast assembly of beings from across the cosmos. Humans mingled with hundreds of alien races. Former enemies sat side by side, united in a common purpose. Today, Mike began, his voice carrying across the amphitheater. We forge a new path. Not as conquerors, but as equals. The Galactic Union is born. Cheers erupted from the crowd. A new era had truly begun. In the front row, President Chen of Earth nodded approvingly. Beside her sat Lai Wei, now Earth's ambassador to the stars. We've come so far, Lai whispered. Chen smiled. And we have so far yet to go. As Mike continued his speech, the scene shifted to various parts of the galaxy. On a distant mining world, Sarah Collins supervised a joint human-alien operation. Former slaves worked alongside their liberators, extracting resources vital for rebuilding war-torn worlds. Another shipment ready, an alien worker reported. Sarah nodded. Excellent. This'll help rebuild the Proxima colonies. In a high-tech lab on Mars, Kenji Sato collaborated with scientists from a dozen worlds. Holographic displays showed a radical new form of faster-than-light travel. If this works, Kenji said excitedly, we'll be able to reach the Andromeda Galaxy. His alien colleague, a being of pure energy, pulsed with excitement. Your species' creativity never ceases to amaze me, Kenji. Back on Earth, at the old UN building, now the headquarters of Earth's government, a class of alien exchange students listened intently to their teacher. And so, the teacher concluded, the attempted extinction of humanity led to the birth of the most inclusive civilization in galactic history. A young alien raised a tentacle. But weren't humans angry? How did they forgive? The teacher smiled sadly. It wasn't easy. Many humans wanted revenge. But our leaders knew that cycle would only lead to more pain. They chose a harder path, reconciliation. In orbit above Earth, the Phoenix, now a museum ship, floated serenely. Daily tours reminded visitors of the cost of war and the power of unity. As Mike's speech neared its end, he addressed the challenges ahead. We face many obstacles, planets to rebuild, trust to restore, ancient hatreds to overcome. But look around you. If we can come together after such devastation, we can accomplish anything. The assembly rose in a standing ovation. Among them was Zix, the shapeshifter who had fought alongside Sarah. I never thought I'd see this day, Zix said, eyes moist with emotion. In a secure facility deep beneath the new capital, the remaining Galactic Council leaders awaited trial. Among them was former High Counselor Zixnera. You must understand, she pleaded to her human guard. We thought we were protecting the galaxy. The guard, a veteran of the war, replied softly, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but now we must all find a way forward. As the ceremony concluded, fireworks of 1,000 colors lit up the alien sky. Ships from across the galaxy performed an aerial dance, symbolizing the new harmony. Mike, watching from the stage, felt a tap on his shoulder. He turned to see an elderly man, the same Mr. Johnson who had warned him about the alien attack years ago. You did good, son, Mr. Johnson said, his eyes twinkling. You did real good. Mike smiled, remembering the scared teenager he once was. We all did, sir, every single one of us. As night fell on the new capital, the celebrations continued. The galaxy, once divided by fear and hatred, now pulsed with hope and possibility. The Galactic Council's attempt to exterminate humanity had failed. Instead, it had given birth to something greater than anyone could have imagined, a future where the stars themselves were the limit. And somewhere, on a distant world just discovering radio waves, a young alien looked up at the night sky and dreamed of joining this grand adventure among the stars. The end.